Take your finger off of the buy button.
Empty that shopping cart.
And stop spending money. Hi, I'm Hope.
And I'm Larry.
From Under the Media. And today we talk about a really common problem that people have. They just tell us all the time, I could stick to a budget if I could just stop spending money. So we're going to give you lots of tips and strategies that actually have worked for us to help us to save more money and spend less money. In case you're unfamiliar with us, we raised our 4 sons debt-free, including paying cash for this house when our income averaged under $40,000 a year. All right, so not spending money. What's the first thing they can do to sort of get out of this habit? Because really it is a habit, right?
Well, it is. And I think the first thing you need to do is stop comparing yourself to others. Don't compare your life to what other people have. I was just listening to an old radio broadcast, and the DJs back in the 60s liked to give these one-liners. And one of them was, I know why I'm so broke. My neighbors keep buying things I can't afford.
And I will tell you truthfully, look, we always made less money than our friends did, like across the board. And we had to learn to not compare where we were at in life with where they were at in life. They all bought their second, much larger home well before we bought a second home. They all took a lot of, big vacations. They did things that, and it wasn't that we didn't say we can't afford that. And that's like another mistake. So if you keep telling yourself, I can't afford it, I can't afford it, I can't afford it, then it almost drives that need to spend more money. But if you tell yourself, I have chosen to spend my money on these things now so I can do that later, then it's like something happens in your head and you're like, wait, okay, so this is the plan, this is the goal, and we're going to get there. And that gives you the hope to continue going and to not spend the money along the way. Secondly, you need to recognize your triggers. It's like a popular word these days, triggers.
Yes, yeah.
But really there are things that trigger you to want to spend money. So you need to look at when you're spending money and say, why am I doing this? It's almost like overeating, right? So what is it that's going through your mind that makes you think, I just got to spend some money. I got to do this. And we do it to make ourselves feel better. But then when we spend the money, we feel worse.
There's a lot of things that I do that would cause me to want to spend more money, and I have to be kind of careful. If I get on Marketplace, it doesn't take very long before I might find something that I'm very interested in, or eBay, or Amazon, or whatever you like. It's so easy to shop when you have all this literally at your fingertips these days, and all you have to do is just hit a few buttons, hit a keystroke, and you've purchased something.
And you're done.
So, I mean, one of the easiest things to do is to avoid that. Stay off of those sites. Read a book.
Stop spending money.
Yeah.
That's one of the things when we decided that our great big goal was to pay cash for this house. We literally looked at every penny we were spending and said, what do we need to do? And we were going to like garage sales every weekend. That was like our, I don't know, like what we did to blow off steam on the weekends.
It was a pastime.
It was like something that was fun to do. We'd take the kids and we'd say, oh, we got a little bit of money to spend. Well, pretty soon we realized that we were nickeling and diming ourselves to death. So that little bit of money was adding up over time. So once we added up exactly how much are we spending at garage sales, and we went, oh, shoot.
So the idea for us was rather than go to garage sales, because it was a nice outing, it was fun to get out with the family and take a walk. Well, why not just go over to a local park or maybe a trail and take a hike there, and that way you get your outing in and you're not spending money or being tempted to do so.
So do something else. And we got a lot more cardio taking walks
Yes.
than we did. You don't walk on garage sales, all right? You stroll. You leisurely stroll, but you don't like actually hike or walk. So yeah, it was actually a lot better for us in so many different ways to rechannel that energy into something else. So make a list for yourself. What are some things I can do instead of spending money? Get an accountability partner. This was so pivotal for us. Early in our marriage, we learned in order to make our finances work and in order to make our marriage healthy, we needed to recognize the fact that we were a team.
Yeah.
And so we decided very early on that we had an agreement and we would not spend over a certain amount of money without checking in with our partner.
We actually set it. I'm going to say what it was. We set that amount at $10.
Yep.
But we would even check in with each other when it was smaller than that. And you know, I got tired of sleeping out in the van in the garage.
Oh, no!
So I finally got onto this stuff, and we got a little bit better at being accountable, at least me to her.
Yeah.
And she's been, actually, Hope has been very good. She's not a spender. She's more of a saver anyway. I'm the spender.
Yes.
So I'm the one that has to be careful. And really, that van is so cramped anyway. So this was just a really good, thing to do.
So you always have like one of those in a marriage, right? You have a saver and you have a spender. And it's in any relationship, it's like that. So you recognize, the strengths and weaknesses of each other. And one of the things he has actually made me do, though, is to think carefully when we've actually saved up money for something to stop feeling guilty for spending the money and say, yes, we're going on a weekend trip, but we have the money allocated for this. Please don't remind us every minute of how much money we're spending. Let's just go have fun.
Imagine having to talk your wife into spending money.
I know. So if you are not married, you can still find an accountability partner. This is like our major tip. Don't make that accountability partner the person that you really like to go shopping with. All right. So if your pastime with that friend is going shopping on the weekends, you might want to pick a different accountability partner. But you should have somebody on speed dial that will talk you off of that cliff, because you really do need help to get through this. We need one another. We do. Ask yourself some questions before you buy. And we've actually done an entire video on this where we break our questions down like step by step. There are 4 questions we ask ourselves every time before we buy something. And it's, do we need this? Do we need this now? Do we have the money allocated for it? And what effect will buying this item have on our written goals? How will it affect those goals? So if you want to watch that video, I'm going to link it right up above, and I'll also link it in the show notes for this program. All right. Give yourself 24 hours to cool off. This has been so important for us, right? There are times we've not followed this rule.
Yeah, and I think we touched on this in another video, but we made a classic mistake where we had a salesman come over and present these Salad Master pans. Now, those are like top-of-the-line surgical steel pans.
Now, we love our pans. We'll say that. Well, we absolutely love our pans, but we paid a pretty penny.
And they made this, of course, they make this offer, and it's a hook. If you buy this set of pans tonight, we'll give you so many $100 discount on it. Yeah. Well, we learned that was just a hook. They probably would have gone ahead and sold those to us the next night, or maybe 2 nights later. But a 24-hour cooling off period is always a good idea when you're
even
looking
if you
for something.
see something. I actually just did this in the grocery store. There was a markdown at Gordon Food Service that I was kind of interested in, and it was really tempting for me to spend that money. And I came home. What I did was I thought, you know what? It's not going anywhere. There's like 4 bags of this stuff. It's not going anywhere, like in the next 5 hours. So I came home and I kind of started researching it, kind of Googling that ingredient to say, am I really going to use this? What's it used for? How much of this can I go through before it goes bad? And I finally decided, you know what? I'm going to give it a pass. But the reason I was able to give it a pass is because I actually use this rule of just wait and think on it.
And usually after that amount of time, you've had plenty of time to consider whether you really need that item or not. And so it's not an impulse buy.
Hey, if you're enjoying these tips, go ahead and like this video and then leave us your comments and your thoughts in the comments section, and we would love to interact with you there. Unsubscribe.
No, they don't want to do that.
No, not to
us.
No, but I'm talking about like, okay, if you have Wayfair showing up in your inbox every day, Wayfair. But if it's showing up every day and they're showing you the most recent couches that are on sale and you don't have the money set aside to buy a new couch, and you are sorely tempted to spend a whole lot of money because they're gonna show you couches and chairs and lamps and all kinds of stuff.
What kind of couches do they have?
No, And so if it's, if it's causing you to spend money, if it's causing you to stumble, then just unsubscribe. You can always resubscribe later. Wayfair is happy to have you back again later when you actually have the money saved up for that couch and you are ready to buy. Mm-hmm. But if you have a dozen different places that are sending you daily notifications of what their specials are and what's on sale, and it's causing you to spend more money, just unsubscribe. It's okay.
Yep.
Focus on your financial goals. This is where we tell you to make it concrete. Write it down. Put it in front of your face. When we were saving to pay cash for a house, and even when we were paying off our first mortgage, we would have like goal sheets. And we would say, this is how soon we can pay the house off if we make X number of extra payments. Or this is how soon we can leave the neighborhood if we save X amount per month. We had those posted like multiple places. So you need to have it where you can see it. And if it's the case of you going out physically to a place to shop, put it on 3x5 cards. 3x5 cards don't take up that much space in your wallet or your pocketbook. Write down just a simple list of those goals. Stick it where you know that you're going to be able to find it in your wallet or pocketbook, and physically get it out and look at it before you buy.
Mm-hmm. The next one would be to set a goal. If you don't have the money to pay for an item, set up a plan to save for it.
Yeah. Make sure if you have like a wish lists are great. They're very motivational. Honestly, we have wish lists.
Oh, yeah.
But we have a wish list with this is how long it's going to take us to save up for it, and this is the goal. And we always know when we set money aside for that, I make sure that I subtract it from the total that we need, so we know exactly how much more we have left to save before we reach the goal, and we can start shopping.
And so when we're setting up a plan to save for it, we'll set up a certain amount each month to put toward that. Just like you would make a payment on a car or make a payment on a house, you make a payment to yourself. And you accumulate that amount of money. When you get the total amount, then you can use that to purchase what you have already planned to purchase.
Pay cash. Pay cash, pay cash, pay cash. Pay cash. That's the next tip. Cash will save you money. Because if you need to have the cash with you to spend it, if you don't have the cash with you, guess what? You don't buy it.
It's easy to use a credit card as if it were an unending source of money. Yes. But if you have cash, you have a concrete, an exact amount, and you can't go over it because you can't spend what you don't have. But a credit card, you can spend a lot of extra money before you hit that that balance limit. So cash is king when it comes to saving money and limiting your spending.
And you actually spend an average of 27% less when you pay cash.
Is that right?
Yeah, because you feel it. You feel it. The next thing you can do is do a no-spend challenge. Challenge yourself. If you find yourself spending way too much money, and most of the time it's not that we're spending like thousands of dollars on something, right? We're nickeling and diming ourselves to death. And so challenge yourself to a 30-day no-spend. Say for the next 30 days, I'm not spending any money except what I have to, right? You got to pay your mortgage, and you got to pay for your phone bill, and you got to buy food, right? And so challenge yourself to a 1 month no spend month. And when you make it to the end of that month, it is like way cool to go, you know what? That was awesome. Let's do this for the next month. And you will find yourself actually setting so much more cash aside than you ever dreamed possible.
One extra tip. I'm going to give an extra tip here that we didn't plan on. I found it interesting to, rather than buy something that maybe I don't need, something I want, just a want, I might think to myself, do I have some items in the house that I haven't really gotten out? I haven't looked at them. I haven't plugged them in, enjoyed them. How about enjoying some of the things that we've already worked hard for and spent and purchased and put into the home? So sometimes it might be just good to get out an item that you purchased a while back. You've already got it paid for. Just enjoy it, whatever it happens to be.
Hey, if you enjoyed these tips, we actually have a free ebook that will give you 10 ways that you can dramatically reduce your expenses. And we would love to send it to you. There's a link in the description of this video.
And how do I get on Wayfair? Is that
No, there's no Wayfair.
Oh.